Hello, hello, hello. I am Ben the Bold, and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. I believe, are... Oops, I didn't mean to click Custom Battle. I want to go to Naval Academy. We are, I believe, doing the very last Naval Academy challenge that we have, at least in the newest update of the version. We are in Alpha 3 right now. They did actually add some more when they updated the game recently. So hopefully before we get the campaign, or I mean, heck, I would love for them to just release the campaign right now. Of course, I want them to get it right, so take your time by all means. But we are doing the last of the currently available Naval Academy missions. Who's to say they won't add more? We'll see. Our objective, a super battleship and its escorts must be destroyed. Ooh, ominous. A battleship of over 100,000 tons is my main objective. It is escorted by a couple heavy cruisers and some destroyers. It looks like we can build a few modern battleships or more heavy cruisers as your main attack force. You will also have at your disposal 4 large destroyer leaders. Okay, so maybe our destroyers can take on theirs. We have to sink everything. We have to sink well, I guess we don't have to sink the destroyers, but we have to sink the 2 heavy cruisers as well as the battleship. We will have some destroyers. We have plenty of time to do it, and we have plenty of budget. I think we're going to have, that's more than enough money. I'm thinking if we can build one, like either super battleship or maybe actually like 2 super battleships to first destroy their super heavy battleship and then to destroy some of their heavy cruisers. I think the best way to go forward in this, and I might be wrong, but we should try to boost technology. That seems to be what has helped me, complete most of these missions. So let's go ahead and boost technology and let's see what we can build. Alright, this is what I have come up with. We are using the modern battleship hull. I am using these really, really large 18-inch guns. I do have, 12 of them? Yes, I have 12 of them. We are just going to use white powder as the propellant. They're going to be firing every 46 seconds-ish, so it's an okay rate of fire, I guess. Not quite amazing, but considering I'm going up against some kind of another super battleship, I figured it might pay to have the heavier guns in the end. These things are going to puncture through. I mean, look at their deck penetration at like 2,500 meters and whatever. 25,000 meters, sorry. Well, also look at their deck penetration, or look at their just belt penetration at 2,500 meters. They are quite impressive guns. However, they are not going to be quite as accurate as I think I would have liked. But with that said, I did get the best range finding as well as the best radar, so that should hopefully help me out in the accuracy department. What else? I did pretty much outfit this gun this ship to the T with lots of secondary weapons. They should hopefully provide a nice ring of fire to keep destroyers from getting too close. I did something that I don't typically do with battleships, and I actually added torpedoes to this. I did just go with reduced torpedo ammo. The only reason I'm doing this is because I feel like maybe they're going to try to get some of their heavy cruisers, maybe their destroyers, in a little bit closer than I, would like. So maybe I'll at least be able to fire some torpedoes to, just keep them away. Again, most of my kind of destroyers and anti-heavy anti-destroyers are going to come from the fact that I have 4 destroyers with me, but also that I have all these secondary guns on the towers. I did make sure to keep this right at that 50% margin for cost, so I am going to have 2 of these. I know I have some extra room as far as weight goes, but I don't want to make the displacement any shorter because then I'm going to have to get rid of one of my gun turrets, specifically this one. And yeah, so I could, if I wanted to lower the displacement, but that would mean I'd have to get rid of a gun. And I think having 4 big gun turrets is going to help me a lot in this mission. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's see how this ship does. This is the San Dionisio. All right, and right away, our radars have shown that our enemies are over in this area. I have instructed my battleships to go ahead and start turning towards the, oncoming ships. We have to find that super battleship. Let's take a look at our destroyers. They are in the screen formation. I'm just going to leave them there for the time being. We'll see. I might change them up a little bit when we make contact with the enemy, but for now, I think this is how we are going to try to meet the enemy. And yeah, I'll let you know when we find them. Alright, you can tell by those little red dotted lines that we have made contact with the enemy, and actually we just fired. Let's go ahead and follow these little red lines all the way. Ooh, and it looks like we actually got a good hit. Excellent job. I love it when the first salvos can actually be a hit. Let's see if we get another one here. No, we don't. But we did get a fire, and this looks to be their super battleship. So they only have 3 turrets, although they do have some kind of large side guns. Hopefully they're 30 kilometers away, so hopefully we'll be able to take care of this ship before they can use these side guns against us. Hopefully we will be able to sink this Austro-Hungarian, I believe. Yeah, that looks like an Austro-Hungarian ship. Hopefully we will be able to sink it before they can really even turn and fire towards us. These actually... Ooh, I actually didn't even see this gun. So they do have 4 turrets. They are mostly on the front here. So, ooh, we just got another good hit. Excellent. So they are going to be able to fire while attacking. We, however, to get all of our guns to bear, we will have to go broadside. We're going to get lots of great hits. What is that? Is that a bouncing shell? How awesome was that? Anyway, great hit on our part. I don't think they have near the size of guns that we do. I have not identified their ship yet, but although this gun right here doesn't do it much good to fire straight ahead, at least it better not be able to fire straight ahead. If so, the game should definitely work on that. We have another salvo coming in. Let's see if we can get another good hit. We have had a couple great hits so far, and those look to be misses, but we have some more shots coming in. Ooh. I wanted to see whether their front gun would fire. Ooh. Doesn't matter, we are going to hit it. Let's go ahead and go back to our own ships for a second, all the way across the map. And I'm actually going to go ahead, because they seem to be doing a world of hurt right now. Let's go ahead and turn them off to the side. Let the enemy come to us so that we can bring all of our guns to bear. Let's see, how accurate is the enemy's firing? Not super accurate, at least not as of yet. And again, I'm going to charge across the field. Let's follow these shells. I've said it a few times. I love being able to just like slowly follow these shells. Also, it was so cool to watch that shell just like bounce off their hull. That was such a cool little detail in this game. Yeah, we're going to miss as well, but that's all right. We still haven't identified any of the rest of their fleet. We know they're out here somewhere. In fact, I think coming out of the fog here are going to be some destroyers and eventually maybe some heavy cruisers. But for now, let's just concentrate all of our fire onto this unidentified battleship. So I'll tell you what, they have hit us once and caused some significant damage, but we have absolutely just done a number on them. We've destroyed this heavy gun. I just got another message saying that we destroyed another gun. It looks to be this one. It doesn't look to be giving us that much grief yet either. I would love to be able to destroy one of their main guns. I still have yet to identify... Ooh! I was going to say I've yet to identify any other ships, but out of the fog, here they come. I'm going to watch this little volley come in. We have, again, gone fully parallel to them. Great hits. I am using the heavy shells. I don't think I went with super heavy. I'm pretty sure I just went with heavy shells. These look to be... Let's see, is that a large destroyer or is that a cruiser? I think that's one of those... Well, we can only identify to be sure, but I think it's a cruiser. Meanwhile, we have hit our top speed of 30 knots, at least with the San Dionisio. The Leon has not quite got there yet. Here comes another volley. It looks like it's going to do some damage. There we go. Main gun damage. I'd love to get a main gun destroyed, but yeah, I mean, look at... We are actually suffering some flooding damage, but honestly, we have pretty decent bulkheads. I mean, they're standard bulkheads. I don't necessarily know what this warship's bulkhead situation looked like. However, mean, surely they've gone with, like, maximum bulkheads, right? Because they didn't exactly... It doesn't appear like they went super heavy on guns. I think these are probably 16 inchers, if I had to guess. And now one of their main guns is actually going to be caught on fire. Let's go ahead and look back at our ships. Once again, just going to go ahead and turn it some more. They're going to get a decent hit there. Ooh, ammo detonation. That's not great. That's going to do significant damage to one of our... What is that? Maybe a... Yeah, we're on fire. That's not great, but hopefully we'll be able to survive that hit. We still have the Leon, which is undamaged. The San Dionisio, it's still firing, so... Ooh, what a hit that was. Yeah, I mean, they are almost halfway done as far as structural damage. We still haven't even come close to identifying them yet, but I'm feeling really good about this long-range duel. We'll say with just how heavy all of our gun shells are, the armor, at least on my end, really can't keep up. I don't know what kind of armor they have, but we're straddling between 2 and 11 inches. Yeah, I mean, these super heavy, or these heavy shells, plus the fact that, you know, they're 18-inch guns, I mean, and they're so accurate. Oh man, are they accurate. Meanwhile, I'm not really sure what my destroyers are doing, haven't been paying that close of attention to them. Ooh, they got a good hit there too. Is this ship running away? Do we think it's turning away from us? It kind of looks like it. Maybe I should follow sword a little bit. I think having 2 battleships is really big here too, because I mean, this is just absolutely oppressive fire. Even though we didn't do a ton of damage there. Let's go back to our battleships. Yeah, we're turning towards them again. I don't want to go too far into that. But yeah, look at, I mean, their firepower just seems so weak compared to ours. Oh yeah, they are definitely trying to run from us. So it would be helpful if we could identify them just to see how, what their speed looked like. But again, look at how much firepower we are just pouring down range and doing so much damage. And again, another volley. Also, I believe we just got a message saying that we have destroyed a main gun. Yeah, they're not long for this world. Here we have yet another volley coming in. Did we destroy another main gun? I think we did. I think we got an alert saying we destroyed another main gun. Yeah. I don't necessarily blame them for running away. Looks like the rest of their fleet is suffering from some confusion as well. We're still hitting just about 27 miles, or not miles per hour, knots. Oh, did we destroy another main gun? Gosh, how is this thing still floating? They're 20 kilometers away, and we have an 85% chance to hit them every shot. That's astounding. I wish we could identify them so that we could tell a little bit more about their damage. They're actually shooting at us with some of these other ships now, although I feel like those are probably going towards the destroyers. Gosh, this would be terrifying. Look at these shells coming in. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh my goodness, look at the front of their ship, or the side of their ship. It's just chocked full of holes. I love the damage modeling here. Alright, so whether we win this or not, because they are hardcore running away from us, and I'm a little worried that their heavy cruisers are going to run away too. But whether we win this or not, I think it is safe to say that this Austro-Hungarian battleship, it's going to be taken out of action for at least a little while. And then this was a major victory for us. Of course, we do still need to sink their ships. And I need to start worrying about these destroyers a little bit more. The screening ships seem to be still doing their job, so I'm not going to take manual control of them yet. They're just trying to position themselves between us, it looks like. Yeah, I mean, these little ships are shooting at us, but I mean, it's just not enough to actually do much damage. And remember all the confidence this ship had when it first met us? It was charging in and had all its guns up in front. It seemed like it was going to be the perfect ship to take on our super heavy ships, and then, well, I think the only thing I could say to that was, nah, man. Too much firepower. We had too much firepower, although we're going to miss there. I like seeing these shells bouncing. Look at them. That's awesome. Although I wish those shells would just explode instead of bouncing like that. Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be... We've almost fully identified this ship, but I have a feeling it's going to be kind of difficult for us to actually get in here and sink it. Although surely it can't hit its top speed anymore. It is the battleship Erzherzog Franz Ferdinand. Its max speed is 27.5 knots. Our kind of not even top speed, our top speed should be 30 knots. So we should be able to catch it. Here's the thing, though. Look at that armor. 17 inches of armor. Ooh. And we just did pretty decent damage to this. It says it's a battle cruiser, but I promise you that's a heavy cruiser. Meanwhile, I almost want to be watching out for... I almost need to be watching out for torpedoes from these destroyers. I could see them interested in firing some torpedoes our way. And I do want to reconcentrate my fire, because it seems like we're now shooting at this battlecruiser. Ooh. I would rather shoot at the Franz Ferdinand. Although, these two heavy cruisers, I have to sink them as well, and they seem content to run away. The Franz Ferdinand is suffering from heavy fires. Our volleys are coming one after the other. Something else I've noticed is that our destroyers seem to be locked in battle with their destroyers. I'm all for this. Let's go ahead and kind of force them off. Plus, our battleships are firing with those secondary guns. Again, we have created a ring of fire around these things that hopefully should be able... do enough to repel these destroyers. I am just going to blow smoke with the destroyers. I don't really see a reason why not. Look at the spread of torpedoes in the water here, though. Let's see. Is that on track to go after battleships, or were they trying to hit other torpedoes? These are going to be some long range to hit these battleships. Take a look at how far away the battleships are. We are, but I do think that is their goal. So we're just going to turn off a little bit. We need to watch the spread of those torpedoes carefully. Let's see, they're kind of going in this general direction. So, yeah, unfortunately I'm going to try to breeze past them with both the battleships. So that's a lot of destroyers in the water, or a lot of torpedoes in the water. Let's not have you run right over them. Come on, separate, separate. No, it's just going to miss. Although, honestly, I'd rather the destroyers hit the torpedoes than the battleships. The battleships, though, are still working on firing at the Franz Ferdinand, which it can't have much more to go. Looks like we actually are going to sink one of their destroyers. However, I'm much more worried about the Franz Ferdinand, as well as we should definitely be thinking about those torpedoes that are in the water. But let's see if this volley can take her under. Man, just look at all of the green indicators. Let's go back over here. Let's look for those torpedoes. No, unfortunately, I just don't have the maneuverability. I think I'm going to take some pretty rough torpedo hits with at least one battleship. Maybe both of them. Either way, hopefully we'll be able to sink that Franz Ferdinand. I don't have the best torpedo protection. Looks like we're going to sink another torpedo. However, another destroyer. However, one of our destroyers is also going to sink. Looks like the San Dionisio is going to escape without being absolutely pummeled by these torpedoes, but unfortunately, the battleship Leon, oh man, it might... I wonder how big these torpedoes are, because it's going to take a whopping hit. Unfortunately, it just doesn't have the maneuverability to miss. Come on, buddy. Alright, that's always good, because this just means we're sinking torpedoes to the bottom of the ocean, too. I think it's actually only going to take 2 hits. Maybe just 1? No, definitely 2. Alright, so those weren't... That wasn't great, but honestly it was not near as bad as it could have been. Let's go ahead and place it back under... Although I don't want it screen, I want it to follow. Let's have both of these shooting once again at the Franz. We should even outspeed some of their heavy cruisers, although I get it, we're not going to hit our top speed anymore. We've taken a lot of damage. But hopefully by the time this heavy cruiser, you know, if it did decide to try to run away from us, by the time it got to kind of the end of our range, we'd have weakened it enough to be able to catch it. The Franz Ferdinand, however, is just barely moving at all. Meanwhile, there's only one torpedo boat left, and we are hopefully doing quite a bit of damage to it with our 5-inch guns. We seem to be getting a lot of over-penetrating shots recently, so I'm actually just going to go ahead and change you to high explosive. I'm not sure if that is necessarily the right move here. Where are you? What are you doing? Are you following? What's the... I'll have you turn independently. I'll just operate both of them independently. The Leon, unfortunately, does have some engine trouble, but Meanwhile, the Franz Ferdinand, as well as some of these heavy cruisers, are almost within range of our 5-inch guns, which is kind of big. Meanwhile, our destroyers are continuing to pummel their destroyer. Excellent. As long as they're not getting any more torpedo hits, I'm fine. There we go. Look at all this damage that we're doing now. Yep, and going to the high explosive seems to have done the trick. And it turns out we didn't need to sink the heavy cruisers after all. That is going to end this battle. We have sunk their super battleship. It wasn't even that difficult. Of course, that's because I came with 2 super heavy battleships. So that actually concludes our Naval Academy missions. I don't know when they're going to add more. I don't know when the campaign for this game is going to come out. I might do some custom battles here in the future for YouTube, but for now, that is it from me, Ben the Bold. I hope that you have enjoyed this episode. I hope that you, if you decided to get the game while it's still in its alpha shape, I hope that you're enjoying it, and I hope that the campaign is amazing. So I hope to see you soon with more Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts content, and I will catch you on the next one.